Am I gonna pull this Toyota? He's in the rear view. He's in the rear. I'm pulling him. Sketch, dude. There we go. Alright, so let's back up and unpack what we just saw. Setting up the mighty QT50 for adventure. Frickin' Jim here, and this is the 4th episode of the QT50 Adventure Shredder build series. First of all, I got rid of the basket. The basket was always a nice touch in the ridiculousness department, but for actually loading up the bike and carrying stuff, it was garbage because of how flimsy it was. I replaced the basket with the Voyager 19-inch toolbox from Harbor Freight. It might have slightly less storage volume than the basket, but I am actually comfortable filling this thing all the way up. It has a lid that I can lock, it's much more rigid than the basket, and it leaves a little bit more room on the subframe so that I could attach more soft bags if needed. So in the end, it is a better storage solution than the basket. I've been making grocery runs every couple days using this box, and it has been working really well. Next, I had to come up with a solution to refueling on the go, since I'm using premix instead of the crappy stock oil pump. What I did was, of course, a ghetto and cheap solution. I created a graduated soda bottle that I can use to carry, measure out, and pour oil when refueling at a gas station. It only holds 500 milliliters of oil, but that will actually be plenty for this little bike. I performed several MPG test rides after the engine build, and I found that the little buzzsaw gets 148 miles per gallon at the best and 90 miles per gallon at the worst. So, assuming 100 miles per gallon with a 30-to-1 mix ratio, 500 milliliters will be worth an extra 400 miles of running. I also have another 800 milliliters of oil in the actual oil tank. So combined, I'm carrying enough oil for over 1,000 miles of running. And that is plenty for this little bike. I doubt I'd ever try to go over 1,000 miles in one trip on this bike. But if I did, I would surely be able to find some oil along the way. As for the actual fuel capacity, an extra gallon easily fits into the toolbox, which brings the total range before refueling up to somewhere between 140 miles and 230 miles, which again is plenty for this tiny bike. So with the rear toolbox, extra subframe space, and front rack, there is plenty of storage, and it's possible to carry plenty of fuel and oil. But fully loaded up, the tiny drum brakes started to feel a little bit dangerous due to a lack of stopping power. I tried lubricating the brake cables using a cable lubing tool to force lubricant throughout the cables in hopes that it would allow more force to be applied to the actual brakes instead of that force being eaten up by cable drag. And it did turn out to be a major improvement. The brakes are still a little sketchy, but they do work way better now. For mileage tracking, since the stock odometer is broken internally and was never accurate anyway, I used a cheap bicycle computer and it works great, featuring a total odometer, trip odometer, and speedometer. For cell phone navigation, I attached my old Ram X grip, figuring it would be okay on the easy sub 30 mile per hour rides I'd be doing with this bike, but I was wrong. Even on a little moped, the Ram X grip is garbage. So I still need to figure something out for phone holding. And there we have it. The little beast is now capable of multi-day, long mileage adventures. And I do really hope to go on a big QT50 adventure someday. But for now, I'll continue just using it all the time as a really fun grocery getter. Maybe I'll even throw the nitrous oxide system back on and try to burn some Honda Civics every once in a while. That should be fun. So thanks for watching. Once again, thank you to the crew members on Patreon who supported the build, and thank you to all the subscribers for not unsubscribing throughout this ridiculous little build. I'll go when the Prius goes. Oh, he punched it. He knew he was gonna get smoked. He hit his nitrous